Widerstandsnester. Just another day at the office. Heinz, could you please pass the ketchup? Jawohl. Nazi Germany had to fight the Russians with one hand tied behind its back. It had occupation duties in the lower countries, Yugoslavia, and many other European countries. Most importantly, it had to hold on to France, which the Western Allies were determined to liberate. After conquering France in May 1940, the German army had occupied the northwest zone to maintain security and prevent the English from invading. After invading Russia and sustaining mounting casualties, the Germans started looking around for ways to replace their losses. In 1942, the German leadership decided to shift fresh troops from France to Russia, while rotating back the shattered veterans to rebuild, replace, and enjoy the tranquil French countryside. Over time, after the various British raids in 1942, the Germans realized that they needed to strongly fortify the Atlantic coast against any possible or probable future Allied invasions. They also knew that this would be good for propaganda purposes, so they broadcasted out to the world about the Atlantic Wall. So, with few men, how could they hope to defend against such a possible invasion? First, they used General Rommel to oversee the defenses and used his know-how to design an overall tactical and strategic defense of the coast. Secondly came the Widerstandsnest, which translates to resistance nest in English. The Widerstandsnest was a concrete fortification which was located near the beach, was typically covered with camouflage and dirt, and had surrounding layers of trenches, barbed wire, minefields, anti-tank ditches, and even fake minefields. These fortifications usually held a machine gun crew, but could also house anti-tank guns, command lookouts, riflemen bunkers, artillery, etc. The fortified Germans were backed up by artillery, but the Germans used captured stock. Here is an example of a Czech LE-FH 100mm howitzer used by the Germans defending the coast against invasion. Here General Rommel inspects some of the more mobile units that were supposed to rush to aid the Atlantic Wall defenders. This shows the different defenses that were put in place to assist the Widerstandsnester in an overall defense. There are the Belgian gates, which are 10 feet high, steel-framed structures with anti-tank mines. There were teller mines, which were placed 200 yards from shore. There were ramps, which were mine-tipped logs driven into the sand. There was barbed wire and of course the hedgehogs, which were 6-foot-high obstacles which could rip the bottom out of a landing craft. By the way, an interesting note is that when the Americans created the Rhino tank to break through the bocage hedgerows, they used the steel from these beach hedgehogs.
Hey, Bunnett, what is this? Just wait, something cool's gonna happen.
I think it's starting to like us.
Yeah. Money, money, money. Doesn't get any better than this, Beavis. Yep.
The Germans worked slowly on the Atlantic Wall, but it was never completely finished. Let's look at one particular Widerstandsnest, 65. It is circled at the top. This is its location again on Omaha Beach. Widerstandsnest 65 is a concrete casement constructed on the higher ground at beach exit E1. It housed a 50mm anti-tank gun which is still present today. It's located in the center of Omaha Beach in the Easy Red sector. It was one of the obstacles that barred the way to the Rouquet Valley. Here's what it looks like today. In this pillbox, the very first American headquarters on Omaha Beach was established for the Provisional Engineer Special Brigade Group. It is called Pillbox Rouquet and is not far from the village of Les Moulins. The U.S. Big Red 1 Division attacked it on D-Day. Widerstandsnest 65 was surrounded by some small army units of the 116th and 16th Regiments. It was Sergeant Hyman Haas of the 467th Anti-Aircraft Artillery Automatic Weapons Battalion who destroyed the 50mm anti-tank gun with his 4 50 caliber guns on his M16 multiple gun motor carriage, which was a half-track. Sergeant Haas recalled, "I took up a position behind the rangefinder and in an instant we opened fire. We missed our first 3 shots as a shell went past us. I made an adjustment to the rangefinder and the next 15 shots went right into the gun port of the bunker. All the time my M16 were firing their 4 50 caliber machine guns at the bunker. No doubt the bunker was dead." 20 Germans surrendered and the beach exit was opened up by the engineers who immediately started to free the throughway for the military vehicles on the beach. Beach exit E1 would become the most important exit on D-Day. Thousands of soldiers that landed at Omaha Beach would pass by it on their way to the front. A memorial plaque for the 467th Anti-Aircraft Artillery Automatic Weapons Battalion has been attached to the pillbox itself during the celebrations of the 50th anniversary. Inside the pillbox you will still find the 50mm anti-tank gun. In front of the pillbox you will find a monument to the landing of the 2nd Infantry Division, called Indian Head, on June 7th. They did not, however, participate in the attack on Widerstandsnest 65. Behind the pillbox, the summit of the coastal area provides a magnificent view of Omaha Beach and the Rouquet Valley on its far side. Across the road is Widerstandsnest 64. Here's what nearby Widerstandsnest 62 looks like today. This is Omaha Beach today, very peaceful. If you liked what you see, hit the subscribe button or share. Thank you. This has been EmersusTech.